Hola. Going from a little walk around the park. Something I've been starting my days with for the first time ever. Other than when I was a kid and used to play sports and would exercise before school and stuff, practice and shit like that. But, as an adult, that sort of all just went away. But man, this whole walking to set your mood for the day thing is kind of a real thing. Anyways, can't keep it all positive for long on this channel. But I was talking with a friend, and we're talking about all the usual stuff that's been going on, and like I've alluded to before, it makes me wonder what they're planning and hiding from us. We argue about stuff, and then even when both sides or a majority of people that maybe you traditionally argued with are agreeing about something, then kind of usually means. I mean, it's nice to see sometimes, but I think what's coming up is we're about a minute in, is the digital ID cashless society thing, right? I was talking with a friend, and he's like, well, as long as this group that's currently doing some really bad things doesn't control it, I'm fine with. He said something to the effect, I'm okay with the Canadian government spying on, what I'm doing or whatever. And again, like, it's kind of, I know what he's saying, and I agree that you don't want a certain group that he's talking about in power running everything more than they maybe already are. But the difference with that is it's really more of when you talk about any government that would have that kind of power. So I just sort of lay it out like, it's going to be anything, right? Like, if you got this programmable money, it doesn't really matter. Right now, people are like, well, as long as it means you can't do this, you can't do that. Like, they just picture it being used fairly is the problem, really. As soon as someone decides that, well, there's been a supply chain issue, or we have an emergency, an environmental emergency. No more cows can fart in South America. No steak for anyone in March. Your programmable money will not be able to buy beef. What's left on the shelf can be purchased. Like money that expires, right? Which they have in China. It's designated for certain things, and then you don't use it in time or for said thing, it just disappears. You can't save it. What if it's I don't know. What if it's drinking a beer, buying a barbecue, whatever it is, the thing that you like to do? What if? Okay, here's a good one. What if you only get to use your vehicle for work, to and from work, direct route, whatever. And if you use it for any other transport, to a friend's house, family member's house, for leisure, pleasure, out for dinner, all that must be done by transit for the next 6 weeks until a new oil reserve is found, or until we transition this area to electricity or whatever, right? Or what if it's, okay, we're going to do the electricity mandate, so now people that have gas vehicles, you don't have to get an electric vehicle, but your driving is limited to and from work, with some exceptions. Like, you can't see this stuff happening when someone can literally control your money. Like, I'd like to be able to sell a lawnmower to my neighbor without the government giving me a tax bill for it. So all this other stuff that's going on, I mean, it all ties in because it'll bankrupt us, and it'll be some other emergency and reason why we need to have digital money. There's always a reason why we need to do something to strip your rights away in the name of your safety or security. What are you going to do? What markets are going to form around that? There'll always be black markets. So I don't know. You got to think about what it is that you're going to do in that scenario, and try and imagine different kinds of scenarios, because that's what's coming. And if you're trapped into a 15-year mortgage and you got kids and you got debt, good luck. You're going to have to do whatever they say. Eat how they eat, live how they say you should live. And don't think how they say you should think. You know, there'll be no individualism. It'll just be collective and self-censorship, and people will go along. It'll be so easy, right? Hey, go to digital ID. We'll give you $2,000 or $500 or some stupid amount. Or we'll give you free internet for a year through Shaw, or some other corporation will do something, you know? It'll be so easy. I don't know really what even I would do. Like, you know, if you got cash and it's outlawed, you got to go turn it in. Imagine that. Everyone's just thinking, oh, we'll just turn in our cash, but oh, guess what? Now you only get 50 cents on the dollar. Sorry, you turned it in late, or you had too much on hand, or whatever other arbitrary thing they're going to just say that you're going to have to just settle for. So, whatever your ideology is, whatever side you identify with, or whatever, I think you're going to have to realize, going that way, I guess, I think you're going to have to realize that digital ID is, cashless society is probably the biggest issue that's going to just enslave society. So once that happens, banks will be able to basically write policy through fiscal restraints and controls. So those would be unelected people. Again, even more so than we have now. I realize some of this is kind of ironic, but like, you know, here's the end result, and it's all just popping into place. Good luck. See you next time.